Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Chair of University Grants Commission, Honorable Acting Vice Chancellor of University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh, Honorable Member of ULAB Board of Trustees, distinguished keynote speaker, other renowned academics, dear faculty and students. Good morning. Welcome to the 3-day-long international conference titled Entangled Englishes in Translocal Spaces, organized virtually by the Center for Language Studies and the Department of English and Humanities at the University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh. The 3-day conference will showcase 70 sessions in total, including 3 roundtable discussions, 3 plenary sessions, a poetry recitation session, a panel discussion by renowned academics, and we also have other scholars and researchers from Bangladesh as well as from other countries joining us in the conference. The main attraction of the conference is also the keynote speech, which will be delivered by Professor Emeritus Alastair Pennicook. In today's conference opening ceremony, we are honored to have Professor Shamshad Murtuza, the Acting Vice Chancellor of University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh, and also who is also the conference convener. I would now request the Vice Chancellor to give his welcome address of the conference.
Thank you, Nadia. Honorable Minister, Dr. Dipu Moni MP, respected UGC Chair, Professor Dr. Kazi Shahidullah, distinguished board member of ULAB, Kazi Nabila Ahmed MP, the showstopper of the conference, Emeritus Professor of Language, Society and Education at UTS, Professor Alastair Pennicook, esteemed scholars, colleagues, dear audience, greetings. Welcome to the 3-day conference on Entangled Englishes. Any avid reader will notice that the conference title alludes to Professor Pennicook's seminal work on World Englishes that deal with assemblages and entanglements. When the film actress Dipu Moni got out of the jail yesterday, she had something written in henna on her right palm. The innuendo was a visible protest that she expressed in English and a vulgar sign. Professor Pennicook takes interest in such social semiotic trajectories of translingual approaches. We're lucky to have Professor Pennicook among us in the black box of our Zoom conference. He has been extremely generous and flexible with his time. We had to change the date of this conference quite a few times, hoping to welcome him to Dhaka and give him a taste of Bangladeshi hospitality. I know his supervisee, our conference co-convener, Dr. Shaila Sultana, really wanted to bring Professor Pennicook to visit our beautiful campus. The crown-shaped virus had other plans. The august presence of the Honorable Education Minister and UGC Chairman and BOT member, Kazi Nabila Ahmed, is an endorsement of our humble initiatives, where we have attracted nearly 70 academic papers and about 300 participants. I thank our distinguished guests for their generosity. The Education Minister is one of the best orators of the country and a true ambassador of a changed Bangladesh, who is not afraid to engage with the world on equal terms. Under Professor Shahidullah, UGC has taken up some laudable steps to streamline the educational ecology of Bangladesh. Their presence highlights the importance of the conference theme. The language question in Bangladesh is never an easy one. In a nation that is defined by its language, Bangladesh, the land where Bangla is spoken, approaches towards English have been contested, to say the least. How do we negotiate the market need for English with the essential expression of the soul in Bangla? The overwhelming presence of English threatens local languages everywhere. The import and export of English and its local and international branding have solidified its entangled reputation. While popular culture is rife with situations that want us to mind our language, the academic arena has accommodated the English language as an essential skill. There is a love-hate relationship with this colonial gift. We both need and do not need English language. Sometimes we need it to say that we do not need it, like Caliban via Shakespeare once told his master. Academic scholars shall explore these issues in the next 3 days in our conference, jointly organized by ULAB's Department of English and Humanities and the Center for Language Studies. We at ULAB wanted to create a virtual space to reflect on the status of English in today's translocal spaces. Our efforts to have a physical interaction became viral, but I am glad that our discourse on English languages is finally happening. I shall be failing in my duty if I do not thank all the people for their relentless back-end support. Members of the organizing committee, top management, and admin staff of ULAB. Once again, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our guests, plenary speakers, panelists, and participants for their proactive and spontaneous participation. Your participation will help us untangle the entangled Englishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The Board of Trustees of ULAB has always been extraordinarily supportive of all our endeavors. We are very grateful that Mr. Kazi Nabil Ahmed MP, member ULAB Board of Trustees, is with us as the special guest of the opening ceremony. May I request Kazi Nabil Ahmed to give his remarks about the conference.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Dr. Dipu Moni, Honorable Minister of Education of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, respected Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Dr. Kazi Shahidullah, distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Alastair Pennycook, Session Chair, ULAB Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Shamsad Murtoza, all the invited guests, the academics, and the participants. Welcome to ULAB. As a member of the ULAB Board of Trustees, it brings me immense pleasure to welcome this August gathering to a 3-day conference at our university. ULAB is a university with a difference. It embraces the ethos of liberal arts that we had been exposed to while studying in North America. In 2002, my father wanted to create an institution that would give back to the community. Leading Bangladeshi intellectuals attended a public colloquium to agree that we will have a university that will promote Bangladesh in every sense of the term. We were the first university to make Bangla studies a part of our curriculum in 2002. Then again, as a globally connected, forward-looking university, we never compromised the learning of English. A dedicated Center for Language Studies was created to make English lessons mandatory for all students. We had Fulbright scholars, language fellows teaching here for consecutive years to build our writing center. We have peer mentoring services, classes on essential skills, including articulation and presentation of the English language. This was made possible for a wonderful leadership that we have at the school level, Professor Shaila Sultana, Dr. Shamsad Murtoza, and Arifa Ghani Rahman, and their team have done a remarkable job in pulling off this conference, roping in over 66 presenters, 300 scholars from 10 different countries, testifying to the global connection that ULAB has. Professor Pennycook is an exponent of translocal Englishes. It implies that the traditional pivot of the English language has changed. Today, the best of literary texts are produced by diaspora writers. They are not afraid to do English from their perspective. The shift in power is a shift to epistemic value. I am sure Professor Pennycook will enlighten the audience and reinvigorate them to engage with the discipline in an informed manner. The interdisciplinary nature of English chimes with our liberal arts ethos. We want our students to think and to think, to learn. I'm particularly happy to welcome Professor Shahidullah, who is a good friend of ULAB. I wish he could come and see our beautiful permanent campus to see how compliant we have been in protecting the academic and psychological well-being of our students. Dear audience, ideally we would have hosted you in our lush green campus with the typical warm hospitality for which Bengalis are known. I wish the campus would have been abuzz with your scholarly engagement, seeing the first-hand development of the country that has been made in the last 50 years. Our basket is now a case study for others to reciprocate. I would like to felicitate the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, for building the country from the front. It's a shame that in 1975, some cowards decided to silence Bangabandhu through a brutal murder mayhem. Under the able leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, His spirit is still alive. Let us celebrate the spirit of liberation and learn to decolonize our minds. I wish the conference a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are privileged by the presence of the Chair of University Grants Commission, Professor Kazi Shahidullah, as the special guest of the conference. I would now request Professor Kazi Shahidullah to give his remarks about the conference, please.
The chair of today's international conference, Professor Shamshad Murtaza, the Vice Chancellor acting of University Liberal Arts, Bangladesh, ULAB. The chief guest, Honorable Dr. Dipu Moni, our Education Minister, Dr. Dipu Moni MP. The special guest, Kazi Nabil Ahmed MP, and also member Board of Trustees, ULAB. And distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Alistair Pennycook, Professor Emeritus, University of Technology, Sydney. All other participants, teachers, students, guests, academics. Good morning to all of you. It's indeed a great pleasure to join you this morning at the inauguration of this important conference titled Entangled Englishes in Translocal Spaces, organized by ULAB. I wish to extend my appreciation to the Center for Language Studies, CLS, and the Department of English and Humanities for taking this timely step in organizing this online conference. English language is crucial to becoming an excellent learner and is extremely helpful for understanding the present perspective of the global world. The nuances that different cultures create while adopting English and using it alongside their native languages is an important issue. And I understand from the theme of this conference that these issues will be brought to light. Under the leadership and able guidance of the father of our nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Bangladesh achieved independence after a long struggle against linguistic nationalism. Bangabandhu established the University Grants Commission of Bangladesh, and Bangabandhu also nationalized primary education. So we know how much importance he gave to education. The UGC deals with higher education research and works closely with the Ministry of Education to strengthen, develop, and promote higher education in our country. The onset of the pandemic made life difficult for all of us. UGC had to take up this challenge of directing the course of education, higher education, during this difficult period. We were the first to, in fact, advise that private universities and other universities can take online classes to keep our students engaged during the period of the universities being closed. We advise that online classes and later online exams should be held to counter any session gaps. We organized interest-free loans. This is the first time that interest-free loans were given in this country. We organized interest-free loans to purchase smartphones to needy students of public universities. And we worked out low-cost internet packages with service providers so that students from all streams of life can participate in online classes. Also, our Bangladesh Research and Education Network, popularly known as BDREN, which is an associate of UGC, they were they provided access to Zoom facilities in order to facilitate online classes. With these and other measures in place, the UGC tried to ensure that tertiary education continues to function during this difficult pandemic period. Participants and paper presenters attending this conference will benefit immensely from the interaction and exchange of ideas and the ideas that the conference will explore. I'm sure the conference will bring forward new perspectives to further enhance and strengthen the different aspects of our education system. English, as a former dean of the arts faculty of Dhaka University, I know how important English is for all disciplines in this country. And even for both public and private, while some subjects, new subjects emerged, some old subjects lost their former position, English continues to hold its position throughout our lives. We have seen that happening. So I would like to say here that along with public universities, private universities also play an important role in realizing the vision of our education policy. And in this respect, I would like to thank the University of Liberal Arts, ULAB, for organizing this event. I wish the conference and all participants to have an enjoyable, wonderful time. These are moments when I wish I was young again and I could participate in all these programs, not from the faculty perspective, but as students. That's a different world. So I thank you all for inviting me to join you in this opening session, the inaugural session. And I look forward to the trustee board member Kazi Nabil Ahmed's invitation to visit the campus. I hope the pandemic scenario will improve and allow me to do that in the near future. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Kazi Shahidullah. Hopefully, we will be able to welcome you in our campus very soon. The chief guest of the inaugural session of the 3-day conference is Dr. Dipu Moni MP, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Dr. Dipu Moni MP has been the Minister of Education since 2019. Before that, she was appointed as the first female Foreign Minister of Bangladesh from 2009 to 2013. Educated at the Johns Hopkins University School of Public Health, Dhaka Medical College, and at the University of London, Dipu Moni has undertaken specialized courses at Johns Hopkins and at Harvard on negotiations and conflict resolution. She writes, teaches, consults, researches, conducts advocacy programs, organizes and leads free health services, and promotes legislation on key issues. She's an advocate of women's rights and entitlements and stresses importance of collaboration and support of the international community, building effective partnership among all stakeholders, bridging the digital divide across regions. She further believes in equity, inclusion, and gender equality in addressing the learning gap, as well as teachers' well-being and upgrading their professional capabilities, including digital and pedagogical skills. I would now request the chief guest of the opening ceremony of the conference, Dr. Dipu Moni MP, to deliver her speech.
Respected Chair, distinguished Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Dr. Kazi Shahidullah, Board of Trustees member and my parliamentary colleague, Mr. Nabil Ahmed MP, very distinguished keynote speaker, other presenters, teachers, and my dear students, good morning. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to this significant international conference in Bangladesh titled Entangled Englishes in Translocal Spaces, organized by the University of Liberal Arts Bangladesh. Let me begin by extending my appreciation to the Center for Language Studies and the Department of English and Humanities for organizing this conference. We are proud to be born in a country that triumphed over the Pakistani oppressors in 1952, oppressor who tried to silence our tongue by depriving us of our mother language. And without its language, the nation becomes a decapitated body. However, we did not let that happen. We won back our language, and that glorious victory led us to our ultimate triumph in 1971. Now, nations worldwide celebrate the International Mother Language Day on 21st February, and it is our language, Bangla, that led the way. We are a nation that understands the importance of language learning and preservation and the impact of language on cultural identities. We are now celebrating the birth centenary of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the golden jubilee of our independence. Under the leadership of Bangabandhu, we achieved independence in 1971. Bangabandhu placed utmost importance on education. His illustrious daughter, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has fully committed herself to ensuring access to quality education for all. Our current education system prioritizes the proper learning of Bangla, English, and also ethnic languages for primary school goers in Bangladesh. Moreover, the International Mother Language Institute in Bangladesh is working to preserve Bangla and other languages of the world. Language is the most efficient way we can express ourselves. Our expressions, gestures, the postures, even the seemingly meaningless sounds we sometimes produce convey a sense of meaning and help others understand. However, one language is not enough to appreciate the world's beauty that is comprised of cultures, literatures, music, art, and nothing can truly be understood if we speak only one language. Becoming multilingual, therefore, is mandatory as it allows us to connect all the dots and see the complete picture. However, since it is not always possible to learn all the languages or many languages, we have accepted English as a global language that allows a majority of the world population to communicate with each other. As a result, English has become a crucial language that needs to be adequately learned in order to empathize with other cultures, peoples, and communities. Post-colonial literature shows us cultural differences. It explores hybridity, plurality, diversity, and representation of different cultures in literature. The flexibility of the English language allows its user to mold it into a vehicle that carries our expressions and helps us reach an international audience without losing cultural integrity. But English is not only a vehicle for post-colonial literature, it has also provided the chance or the opportunity to promote our Bangla literature through translation to the world. I thank the University of Liberal Arts for this conference because, you see, English has been with us for more than a quarter of a millennium. For the first 200 years, it was the language of the colonial masters and seen as a tool of colonial oppression. But now it is a tool that we all need to learn. I believe that in the true spirit of Bengali hospitality, we have already adopted English language as one of our own languages in this subcontinent. And therefore, we have also created our own versions of English, a major part of the Englishes that you will be discussing in this conference. Sometimes we call it Banglish in Bangladesh, many versions of Indian Englishes, and so on. As it is now a tool for availing globalized opportunities, it is absolutely okay to have our own Englishes, however entangled these are, as long as we're able to communicate what we want. So I thank the University of Liberal Arts again for this conference. The Ministry of Education has taken many initiatives to improve English learning and teaching quality. We all know how important it is to learn English adequately. Moreover, achieving our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's dream of a developed Bangladesh will be difficult without adequate English. The aim of this conference is undoubtedly to find out a solution and bridge the gap efficiently. I would like to thank the Center for Language Studies and the Department of English and Humanities once again for organizing this timely conference. This conference will help us comprehend the impact of English on cultural identities. It will enhance the relations with other nations and bring us closer to empowering minorities, refugees, and migrants. I would like to teach us some valuable lessons which would help us enhance our education system further. And I conclude with paying rich tribute to our father of the nation, to all the martyrs of 1975, 15th of August, to our four national leaders, martyred leaders, to all the martyrs, 3 million martyrs of 1971, and all the women who were raped by the Pakistani occupation forces and their local collaborators, and all the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for realizing our rights since our language movement till today. Thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu. May Bangladesh live forever.